What's happening? It's Green Thumb. So I just finished transplanting a bunch of little Roma seedlings. I started all kinds of them in some soil here, and I just transplanted a whole flat into solo cups. So I know some people have issues when it comes to transplanting tomatoes and stuff. What normally, so let me backtrack a little here. When I plant my seeds, I always put at least 2 seeds per cell. That way, if 1 grows, fantastic. If 2 grows, I just remove the weaker of the 2. A lot of people have problems with that. They're thinking, you know, oh no, well, I'm getting rid of extra plants and such. I get that. I totally get that. I overcompensate by just starting way more tomatoes than I need. That way, when it's time to put them into the garden, I'm only planting the biggest ones and the healthiest ones that are growing, right? So essentially, I'll show you what I've done here, and I'll show you my reasoning behind it, and kind of where my headspace is at. All right, here we go. Here's our flat of tomatoes. So the way I work it is, if you're not strong enough to survive, I'm not planting you in the garden. Nature's brutal. We have to be the same way as gardeners sometimes too, and we have to make decisions, right? So here's one of the little plugs of tomatoes that came out, and we've got 3 growing in 1 cup. I'm definitely not planting all 3 of these at one spot. So what I do is I look for the healthiest one with the thickest stem, and then I'm getting rid of the other ones. I'm not worried about trying to retransplant those other ones. It's literally a waste. So I'm just grabbing my scissors or my pruners, and I'm just going to remove them. That's it. I don't need those other ones. As you can see, I have a whole tray of Romas, and I've got, I don't even know, another 40 tomatoes in the greenhouse or something. I'm not lacking tomatoes. So I'm going to go through the whole tray, and I'm going to figure out of all the tomatoes that I've transplanted, which ones I'm keeping. See, here's more. So I'm looking for a couple things. I'm looking for the thickest stem. I'm looking for the nicest plant, right? I'm looking for genetic issues, weird looking leaf patterns, that sort of thing. And anything that doesn't make the cut is gone. Gone. What I also did when I transplanted these is the root ball is down here. I've already buried probably 1 inch to 2 inches of the stems of these tomatoes. And if you look real close on the stems, you see that fuzz right there on that stem? When you bury these tomatoes in soil, these little hairs will actually turn into roots. So when you're planting your tomatoes, the deeper you plant them, the better your root base is. If I had just literally taken them out of that plastic tray and put them in here and topped this up to the level of the soil on the stem where they initially were when they were in here, right? Then I'm forcing the roots to dig deeper to get soil to strengthen up. But by burying these deeper in the soil, I'm going to make this tomato plant grow more roots right out of that stem, therefore creating a stronger plant. And when I plant this thing in the ground, you know, these tomatoes are going to be 1 to 2 feet tall. I'm going to probably bury a good 1/3 of that tomato plant in the ground. I'm going to have a hole in the ground that's probably going to be 8 to 10 inches deep, depending on the height of these tomatoes. So yeah, I know it's flopping over a little bit. That's okay. Right? So these are Romas. Going to grow these for tomato sauce. So I'm literally just going to go through the whole tray, look for the ones I want, cut out the ones I don't want, right? So I'm going to take this one because it's further along. Everything looks healthy. Get out my pruners. Snip. For some people, this is really hard. They're thinking about it like they're killing plants and, they can't really do that and they want to just kind of get them all to grow. But as a gardener, you really have to make some tough calls sometimes as to what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you want these plants to grow as much food for you as possible. And if you transplant the weaker of the ones out of here, by the time you pull them apart from the other root, you could realistically be damaging both plants. See, like, look at how tight these are growing together right now. If I tried to pull these roots apart, what's the chances I'm going to damage both of these tomatoes? Probably pretty high, right? So, I'm going to cut this one out. Gone. I'm not even worried about saving them. So I'm going to work my way through here, cut out the rest. See, here's a good example, right? Which one do you think I'm going to choose out of these two? You don't even have to think about this one hard, right? Gone. Not tough choices. If you want 100 tomato plants, plant 200 seeds. If you want 100 tomato plants and you double up, you can always just remove the weaker one, keep the stronger one, and you'll end up with healthier plants at the end of the season, which provide you more fruit. That's it. Work my way through. I haven't even watered these in yet. See? Nice, taller, thicker stem, thinner stem, healthier looking top, larger leaves, gone. Same with here. One's a little shorter, one's a little taller. Gonna keep the taller one because it's a little farther along. That's all there is to it, guys. So I just wanted to kind of run this by you, show you my thought process on what I'm doing here. Oh, missed one. See, look at this one, right? We've got this little weak one and then a nice big healthy one beside it. I don't need that little weak one growing. Not worth trying to transplant. Not worth trying to damage this nicer, larger plant. Back in the box. So that's all there is for this, guys. And, like I said, sometimes as a gardener, you got to make the tough calls. With something like this, it's not really a tough call. So just work your way through, choose the healthiest ones, and get rid of the weaker ones. And that way, you have a healthier harvest at the end of the season, and you won't be damaging both plants trying to salvage the weaker one. All right, well, that's it for this video. There's going to be a lot more coming. The greenhouse is rocking and rolling now that I've got all those LED lights rocking. Thanks to Andrew over at Johnny's Genetics. Bud, those lights that I got from you are making a huge difference in the garden. So for any of you who are around the Ottawa Valley area, go check out Johnny's Genetics on StarTop. Talk to Andrew. Tell him Green Thumb sent you over. All right? Have a good one. Grow good food. See you later. Peace.